Hi everybody. Got had a question about how I do my flight planning and stuff with Pilot2atc, so I thought I would do a short video here on how I do things when I set up my flights and everything. I use SimBrief coupled with Navigraph charts and Sky4Sim NG coupled with the Pilot2atc. So it's really pretty simple. We're going to do a plan, put it in the Cessna 414 or the 414 so that it can go along with the PMS 50 GTN 750. That's what I run. So it's pretty simple. Everybody knows to do SimBrief. So we'll open up the last flight plan I did here. We'll edit the flight. Use current time here. So there's a route flying from Opelika down to Key West, Cessna 414. So I'm just going to generate the flight. You can go in there, like I say, and change your fuel and all that stuff, but it does a pretty good job all on its own. I just shoot that over into the simulator and then grab my fuel and my weights over there. So that's all I do with that right there. So we're going to close that out. At this point, there's a couple things you can do with the GTN 750. I prefer to type everything in manually because then it gets in there right. I do that because I've read that there is an issue between the default Microsoft Flight Planner and the GTN, and it can add extra waypoints or do something. It doubles them up or something. It gets confusing. So I've kind of learned to go around it, but there is a way that you can do it. So what you can do is get the SimBrief downloader, and I've got it set here to download to the Microsoft Flight Simulator flight plan folder. So we'll just export that. Now that's done. So over on my desktop, I've got shortcuts to all my flight plan folders. Pilot2atc flight plans, PMDG 737 plans, along with the PMDG weather that you can use on that FMC. I've got Microsoft Flight Plan, and I got the CRJ 550 through 700 and the 900 1000. That gives me quick access to it. So we'll open up the Microsoft, and there it is right here. Now I'm going to bring that out to the desktop. Okay, so if you want, you can bring it in and then load it in Microsoft Flight Planner, and then it'll be in your GTN 750, but it might not be accurate. Another way to do it, and the only way to do it, to put it in there, it's got to be in the PLN format. So if you go to your community shortcut folder and you find your PMS GTN 750, and you go into the FPL GTN 750, and then what you have to do is bring that flight plan in there. Now, the only way it can basically import one is if you change it to fpl.pln. So this was one I did previously, so I'm going to delete that. So all I'm going to do is rename this. It's going to be Frank Papa Lima dot Paul Lima November, and that's it. So that is the SimBrief plan. You can also import it from SimBrief. So there's really an easier way, but this is the only way that you're going to be able to get that plan in there understood in that fashion. So the next thing I do is I get my simulator up and running, which I already have. Click the fly button. This is the Cessna 414 over in Opelika. Get on the runway where everything's powered up and we can look right at the GTN. Okay, so I've got the simulator up and running. We're in the 414 there at Opelika. So what I do at this point is I come in, I bring up my Skyfer SimNG window, I bring up my Navigraph charts. I don't really put a flight plan in there. You can open that up. It depends. Or else I'll butcher here. Hang on. There we go. This is a little different here. Change the text size. I wasn't very well prepared for this video, but anyway. Alright, so here we go, flights. Unload that one, and then we're going to import from SimBrief, which will be the last flight you did in there. Here we are, Opelika to Key West. We'll put it in there. And it'll bring up all required charts and everything. Here's our plan. So that's pretty much done. Minimize that. And then I bring Skyfer SimNG in for the notification window from Pilot2atc. So over here, to do that flight plan, you can import it. If you'll come up here on the right side, number 2 down, it says flight plan or FP import. I'm going to click that, and I have import call sign unchecked because I assign that to my aircraft when I load the flight. So I just import SimBrief. There's our flight. Okay, then you come up here and you can do your altitude. We'll go 12,000. Check across the top, climb rate 2,000 feet per minute or so, cruise 12,000 feet, ground speed is going to be somewhere 250. You don't have to change any of that. It's not that big a deal. Sometimes I'll go in there and kind of try to bring it in there more exact. So anyway, it's in there at this point. I don't need this window anymore. I've got IFR checked up here, so it's going to be an IFR flight. You can do VFR if you so desire. It doesn't matter. The IFR is pretty much flawless. You can get point A to point B, a pretty good flight. VFR, they're working on it, and I'm staying up with the betas on this thing, so it's just getting better and better and better. So anyway, at this point I connect, and I'll validate the flight plan. That just ensures you're not going to be descended into any mountains or anything. You're going to clear all the ground beneath you for the whole flight. Then file it. And so we're in business. I got the volume down on the simulator. So at this point, what I do is go to the flight plan page, and I will bring up the SimBrief panel. Fetch that last flight. I'll go through and do my payload by opening up the payload window.
America 3455, tower, you up and ready there, confirm? We're ready to go, Papa.
And make sure all the data matches up. Get my weights right and everything. Then you go to summary, and there's the flight plan waypoints all down through here. So you can, I prefer to type it in manually. I just learn a lot more. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and it seems like, the pilots jump in, they fire up the aircraft, get their ATIS, and punch in, if it's just a few. But if you so desire, see if I remember how to do this. We'll go back to the home page. We'll go to utilities, I believe it is.
3455, wind 1204, runway 4 left, clear for takeoff. 4 left, clear for takeoff,
It's not utilities. Got flight plan, menu. Got import. And then you can import from SimBrief. Correct. And there it populates. And then it seems to add in some more points. We have the DHP, we're going down to Victor 157, Airway 157. It's got all the waypoints. We can close that up.
American 1 more time. Read back, hold short of runway 25 right at Bravo 17. Hold short, 25 right at Bravo 17, American 1.
Victor 157 strap, direct Key West 27. So there it is. That's two ways to get it in there. I prefer to type them in on the shorter ones. If they give me jetways and all that, I type them in, and I'm just learning. So anyway, I think I've covered what was needed to be covered. I'll try to think of something else.
Canadian City, ramp, good morning.
It's a pretty simple process once you go through it a few times.
Runway 24 left, information uniform.
I guess what I can do is
left line at
zoom in a little bit more over here on our Pilot2atc setup. And basically everything you need to do is in the config button over here. And we'll start here at the Pilot2atc setup. I will leave this on here for a second so you can come down through. I've been back and forth on a few of these. One important thing you need to do before you file your flight plan or even really connect is put in your call sign and your tail number you want to go by. Once you get to talking with them, you can call out like TBM, and then you don't have to say your whole tail number like November 34 Delta Bravo. You can just call TBM 4 Delta Bravo, and then once you get interacting quicker with them, you can just call 4 Delta Bravo. That's pretty cool. So a lot of these are interchangeable. Some of them I've left. One thing that I do like is a play tone here for radio swap. A lot of times you'll hear me when I key up, you'll hear a tone. That means, yes, I'm transmitting. If I push the talk too quick, I don't hear the tone. I know I jumped the gun on it.
42-11003
So,
doctor, runway 25 right.
Once you get your command from ATC, pause just a second, then key up. Speak just normal voice. And then when you release the push to talk, you'll hear the tone again. That means the transmission got through. So then you wait for their reaction. If you don't hear that end of push to talk tone, you need to do it again. Just be patient with it. ATC settings, I've changed a couple things over here. I put tower at 20. I changed controller radius to 100. That seems to slow down some of the center-to-center transfers. Instead of getting them every 5 minutes, it slows them down. Sometimes they're a little quick still, but you'll get times where you'll go 15 to 20 minutes without swap. Sounds, this is where you can go like to Google and you can look for like a radio click sound. There's all kinds of free ones out there, and you can download several and find one you like. The manual explains how to do this. That's where you can enter that sound. You can also put in radio background static sound. It's really pretty cool. Voices. So there's a gentleman out there a year or two ago named Bob Black did an excellent tutorial on where to go get free voices, and you have to go into the registry. I would recommend you go get his video and follow him step by step. He'll have you cooking these in there real quick. So anyway, they rotate around. Some of them have slight accents, but that's fine. It's just not the same old voice every time. But after you fly a few flights, you'll recognize the voices again. But it breaks up the monotony. Let's see, the speech. So when I first started using it, I had co-pilot options that he would respond to the radio. Like if I fly a commercial flight, I'm busy flying it. It gets busy to try to handle those radios. So I'll give that over to him, and that works out pretty good. You can also have it set every time you're told to change frequency, he'll react and swap it for you. So that's all set right up in here. But when I'm flying GA single pilot stuff, I want to start doing that all myself. So when I get the frequency change, I acknowledge it, and then I type it in and do it all on the comm radios, which I'm really starting to enjoy that part of it too. So that's pretty cool. Down through here is the conversation text file path for the setup with Sky4SimNG. That's on the Sky4Sim website on how to. It's pretty simple. AI traffic. I've got the alerts on, but I'm running FSTL. So since the update, I'm just now starting to see traffic again, and I'm playing around with getting weather radar worked out and all that. I'll just leave that up there. That's kind of your choice. I used to run this with X-Plane, so I've been playing around with Pilot2atc for a long time. I really liked how it worked in X-Plane, except then I could bring this whole window into VR with me, whereas you cannot do that in Microsoft. There's an FS desktop app.
Delta 1865, 11104, and I'm Delta.
I wanted to. I haven't checked back in a long time, but this way I'm doing it now is just perfect. It's more realistic to me. Yes, there is a box in there with the text. That way it's like writing it down on an e-board. It's all written down. You can refer back to it, get the frequencies, get the altitude assignments, and sometimes they really go hard on you. And if you don't have it notated, you're not going to get it. So I really, really like that feature. I will not fly without it. It's just too immersive. The weather, NOAA real weather is what's suggested, and it seems to be keeping up fine with what's going on in the simulator. Buttons, pretty self-explanatory. Set your push to talk and everything. So that's about it. Once I have that going, it's a matter of finding the comm frequencies and all that stuff, because you don't have this board to cheat anymore. So you're in here and you got to figure out the way you want to try to figure out your frequencies. One way is to have Navigraph, which is great. Or, as I get more into the GTN even deeper, you can come in here and find it. Remember
Delta 615 contact over Delta departure.
Charts. I've got that set up. So here's one way to find your frequencies to get started. And basically, all you can do is find the ATIS and get a hold of clearance, and then they'll start telling you what to do from there. I haven't really implemented this part of it. I've been using Navigraph. It's so much quicker and easier just to go up, pop this puppy up like this, set it over in the co-pilot seat, and there you are.
See you later.
You just don't get no better than that. So anyway, that's how I do it. So I hope this helps out. If there's any questions on it, please feel free to respond or whatever. I'll try to get back to you. I only have time on the weekends to do my simulation stuff. Come in late today, so I got to roll back out Monday and try to get another flight in. So anyway, hope this is helpful to somebody out there. Appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.